3 years after the success of Jaws, the first of several sequels followed, so when I look at the series continues 1978's Jaws 2. None of the sequels had any involvement from Spielberg or Benchley, though Cole Gottlieb still worked on the script for this one alongside the late Howard Sackler, was uncredited consultant on the first film. Directing duties fall to Jeanette Zwack, who, apart from a handful of other films in the early to mid-1980s, has mostly done TV directing in the time before and since this film, so let's open this up. Open on prize the ocean credits from the first film with two divers and some fish in the POV shots. Much of the cast from the first film reprised the roles, as the divers trying to recover what's left of the orca from the first film. The music swells, we have quick glimpse of the shark amid some camera flashes. O'Neil Travis may not be the best editor, at least John Williams came back to do the music. The cinematographer this time around, Michael Butler, basically lets you know what you're in for the next 116 minutes, even if it lacks flair. We're then treated to a fairly good arrangement of the classic song Downtown, rejoining the leads from the previous film to benefit the NMD Scholarship Fund. They're also opening a new hotel and condo development, holding ribbon cutting over the pool. The mayor just toured refreshments on the patio, not a bad plan for this film, especially as the band switches took over in Ipanema. Oh, those crazy 1970s. Am I right? As Brody and his wife share a dance, the waters by the sea have ominous shadows are cut to the next day as regardless ships are in town for a boat show. I don't know whether that, the tight outfits, or the haircuts are more tempting fates, but this hasn't totally rolled itself parody just yet. I do get a kick out of Brody fielding complaints about the neighbors dancing and kids playing CB videos. Apart from that, how short the swimwear is definitely tips off the 1970s aura of this film when these kids are parasailing. We get some fairly decent shots of someone water skiing at the 2-minute mark, and while this may not be the best one I've covered, it's also not the worst. 20 minutes in, the shark is chasing a water skier, eventually catching her. Again, part of this might be ancient cinematography, but this victim, whose name is Terry by the way, doesn't seem to have the same impact as the previous film. It's also a slightly obvious cut when the driver tries to use a flare gun on the shark, though compared to the next two sequels, and we'll get to those, there's been worse. Taking a report about the incident, Brody has a base search for more clues, and even though he's somewhat incredulous about all the marine accidents, then the remains an orca washed up on the beach. It's only a mortal. Shh. At the 33-minute mark, this is where they seem to differ from the previous film. Even the mayor's concern haven't changed that much, to the point where I keep checking to make sure I didn't put on the last movie by mistake. Later that day, Brody notices a piece of debris in the water, and finds a grisly remains of the missing boater. Though, again, this looks more like a melted mannequin than someone who had a freak accident with a motor and a flare gun. Back at the Brody homestead, his children are playing some Atari while the chief continues the investigation. More beachgoers arrive, once again just making sure to put on the last movie by mistake. After a scare at the beach with some bluefish, Brody's still feeling uneasy 15 minutes in. Hearing back from his deputy, the film has been developed up from the cover camera in the opening scene, revealing more details about the boat accident. The higher-ups are not entirely convinced, and Brody is dedicated to finding him and truth and protecting anybody at any cost. Also, I do like this part in the pizza parlor, just something about the old pinball machine Death Race arcade game. For those unfamiliar with that one, let's just say a very similar controversy then that something like GTA would now. As Brody hands off his duties to his chief deputy Jeff, his son, Michael, disregards his warnings and heads out on the water again. What could possibly go wrong? Surprise, surprise. The next day starts with a diving class taking place, and some of the divers becoming the next victims of the shark. The scars on the model are pretty obvious, again, still nothing in the next couple of sequels. It's not long before the shark moves on to the next vessel, Tina's Joy, and claiming her beau, Eddie. Also, for some reason, it made me want a Coca-Cola. Upon catching wind of what happened, Brody decides to go find Michael alongside Jeff. The god is on full swing while what's left of Tina's Joy is being discovered. Tina is taken back to land, a drama student named Roy is eaten. As Regatta is attacked, it's a race to find the Brody children before the shark does. Admittedly, while this may not be the worst boat chase finale the series has given us, it is a step down from the atmosphere laid out by the previous movie. Brody and Jeff are able to contact the Herd Patrol, but the shark makes its move before they hold to safety. Only 20 minutes left in this thing, but I've had worse. Back with the others, Sean is drawn back to the last boat, and rescue efforts are still in effect as Mr. Brody tells off the mayor's aid for his recklessness. again. As I said in the last review, make your own assumptions. And Brody is able to reach the survivors at Cable Junction, setting up the final showdown with Bruce. This time, as the shark rears its scarred animatronic head, this time a power cable does a trick with a few jump cuts, Brody only surviving by ducking into a rubber raft. So basically the same way Ash handles an errant Pikachu. We then close on the Brody children being found safe as the credits roll over the long paddle back to land. Again. While this movie had nowhere near the critical and audience praise of the first film, it did perform honestly well. Not the huge smash the first film was, but a respectable $77 million in the US and $183 million worldwide on its $3 million budget. Knowing what lies ahead, it's not a great film, but certainly it's terrible. It's okay, it just exists to me. My final rating is 2.5 out of 4. I have something I've been waiting to address for ages in the meantime. I'll see you all in September when I look at Jaws 3 later. Yeah.